Okay, here are my answers to the questions. I'm just going to go down the list. So this person has quad tendinopathy, which is basically an irritation of a tendon in the thigh muscle for 6 years. Initially from weightlifting, improved with PRP injections. I'm not sure what ESWT is. Maybe that's eStim. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what 10X is, but pain persists at insertion. Advice. So it sounds like this person has been focusing on the insertion of the thigh muscle, and I'm not sure whether they're talking about the insertion at the knee or the insertion at the thigh. So my advice would be, I would be curious first to see what that thigh stretch does in my program, and then I would drill down deeper to find out when exactly is this being irritated more. What types of activities? Is it a squatting behavior? Is it a sitting behavior? Is it after sitting for X number of minutes? Is it walking? So those activities are pointing towards the source of the problem. So once again, especially since you've been dealing with it for 6 years, I'm going to suggest that you start with the bonus somatics audio lessons that are in the bottom of the members area, and work through all of those lessons to see whether there's a change, whether any one of those lessons makes a change in that tendinopathy insertion pain. And because it's been going on for 6 years, something else is going on. If it was just tendinopathy, it should have healed in 6 to 8 weeks. So because it's been going on for 6 years, it means that there's something else that's continually irritating that area, and that area is your weak link. So I would change your focus from focus on that area to the other supporting players in your lower body, namely the butt muscles and the hip muscles for the standing hip strengthening exercise, possibly stretching the quads. I would also look at your inner thigh muscles. Those also may be have gotten very tight. So and massaging those helps, or stretching those. So gosh, there's so many possibilities. I don't even know exactly where you're talking about with your pain, but that would be my general advice. All right, let's see. Next one. You suggested that I start, that's right here. You suggested that I start with the bonus somatics to decrease tension in the muscles. Is this the audio somatics or the two bonus videos? I'm sorry I wasn't clear. The bonus somatics, you'll see it says bonus at the bottom of the members area. When I say that, I'm always referring to the audio somatics lessons. There are 4 hours of those. Each of them are about a half hour. There's 8 lessons. And they just hit the body in other ways that the videos don't. And so that's generally what I'm talking about, because we need to, that's kind of casting a broad net to see which lesson, if any, is reducing any of your pain. And if so, that 1 or 2 lessons will start pointing us in the right direction of what we need to focus on. So that's kind of what the purpose of that is, as well as reducing overall tension in the body, which plays out as pain. Okay, the next question is, I am a D1 athlete, Division 1 athlete, and have professional trials coming very soon. Fastest way to get ready? Well, that's a broad question. I'm not sure what sport you're playing and if you're dealing with pain in any, and whether you're dealing with pain. I don't see any questions about pain here. I don't have an answer for you because I just don't have enough. There's just so much that goes behind that question. Your injury history, your where you're experiencing weakness or pain. I'm sorry, I just don't have enough information to help you with that one. If you'd like to email me, feel free to email me and give me detail about what sports you're playing, what injury history is. And frankly, if your professional trials are coming very soon, I'm not sure what very soon means, if that's a week. I'm sorry, feel free to email me separately, and maybe I can give you more direction on this. Okay, next question. I've developed pain on the shoulder blades, sides, chest, doing the bar. Doing the bar? it looks like they're asking a question. I'm not sure, first of all, what the bar is, what they mean by that. Is that a bench pressing bar? Is that the bar exercise? I'm not sure. I stand on a stool to hold my weight. Gosh, I really don't understand what this is. Any suggestions? Yeah, email me separately and explain exactly what you're talking about. I think would be the answer there. I have no idea what this means. But if you're having shoulder blade pain, then I would recommend my Fixing Your Headaches program, which solves shoulder issues and specifically shoulder blade issues as they relate to shoulder, neck pain, and headaches. So that would be my one recommendation that I would pull out of there. Okay, on the football side bend exercise, when I do it on the side that my disc is squeezed against a nerve, I get tingling on that side. So I'm curious, does this mean that you're lying on the side where your disc is squeezed against a nerve, or is this when that side is up? I'm not clear on that, because doing that exercise, so when you're lying sideways on that football, the side that's exposed up is the side that you're lengthening, but to say that you're doing it to the side could mean that you're lying on the side of that squeeze, which means that you're compressing it. So I'm not sure which side. So if you could get, again, I'm going to get lots of emails. So if you could email me and let me know which side your nerve pinch is and which side you're lying on when you're doing that exercise, that would give me more information about what's going on here. But in general, whatever side you're doing and whatever side is hurting, if you're getting tingling in that leg, that is not a good sign. It's meaning that your disc is likely getting more compromised. Now, whether that's coming from the lumbar spine or something else, we're not sure. Maybe you're sure, but based on this, I'm not sure. So my general recommendation is anything that increases your symptoms. First of all, the bad thing is that we want to avoid that or modify it in some way. But B, that's telling you, turn this into a positive. When something causes more pain, it's pointing you in the direction that you need to solve. So anytime you're having pain with any exercise or any movement, drill down into that exercise, go very slowly through it, and try to figure out what can I do to modify it that makes it not hurt. And then chances are that's the secret to why you're having that pain in the first place. So rather than just avoid something altogether, let's learn from it. I'm a big advocate of, when I had my clinic and working with my patients, when they came into me with these kinds of questions, I get tingling when, okay, show me exactly how you're doing that. Okay, and then they would show me, and there's a tingling. Okay, and then I would start modifying the exercise. And when I found a modification that took the pain away, then that told me where we needed to focus in terms of solving a problem. So use these, what apparently are negatives, as positives. I mean, it's just like growing up. I mean, and growing as humans, if we just avoided things that were negative all the time, we would never grow. And sometimes the most growth that we have is when we're challenged. And so, use this as a challenge to grow beyond through this and figure it out. This is your body's trying to tell you something. Okay. Next question. After 3 weeks, I'm not at 75% relief. What should I be looking at differently? Okay, so after 3 weeks, you're not 75% relief. Are you 10%? Are you 20%? Are you 50%? Are you 60%? So understand, so what percent relief are you? And then, this is where I start to tell people, okay, we need to break down exactly what is helping you the most. Because again, just like that other question, that's going to point us in the right direction. So I'm not sure where this person's pain is, but if for instance, if they do somatic lesson 3, that's the one lesson that solves my pain. Okay, so somatic lesson 3 is showing you something that's going to help you solve your pain. what is that dealing with? All right. So that's the type of thing that you should be focusing on. For instance, if it's the side muscles of the trunk, then you're having a problem likely with compression on on one side of your spine or the other. And the reason this compression is happening is because of poor muscle function. So this is what I've been finding doing a lot of telehealth visits over the past 15 or 20 years, is that people aren't really paying attention to what their bodies are doing when they're doing the exercises. So if you have a chance to do the exercises in front of a mirror, and that mirror creates an objectivity, so you can watch yourself doing the exercises objectively to see if they looks like exactly what I'm doing in my videos. Interestingly, for instance, I had recently one woman who demonstrated doing the butt pump exercise. Well, she did the butt pump exercise while she was on her hands and not her elbows. And I said, why are you on your hands? I have it doing on the elbows. She said, oh, I didn't even notice that. So it's these kinds of things I think people aren't realizing. Exactly how I've got it in the video is exactly how it works best. So really watch yourself in a mirror, have someone else watch you who has watched the video of the exercises, and see if you're matching exactly what I'm talking about. Try the modifications that I recommend in my videos. Now, so going back to the 75% relief, maybe you found one exercise that seems to help the most. So what I would do, and maybe you found one or two exercises that actually even hurt you. Okay, so you're gonna double down maybe on the exercise that's helping you most, but I want you to try to analyze, what is it about those exercises that's hurting me? Is it targeting my butt muscles? Is it targeting my hip strengthening? Is it, stretching my waist muscles? What exercises are hurting you, if any? So and let's think about those. I mean, feel free to email me and I'll help you as much as I can. But we need to understand, just saying, because there's so much in this program. Did you try the taping? Have you tried the habit changes? Have you gone to the practitioner to massage the muscles or do the mobilizations that I recommend in the extra help? Have you done all the somatics lessons? What were your responses to those? Which exercises exactly are you doing and how often are you doing the program? There's just so many questions, so that would be my way to look at this. And have you watched all the videos of the welcome videos that show I think I have a video on the 8 things that people do or don't do that keep them from getting results. So if you haven't watched that video, please watch that video in the welcome section. So, but feel free to email me with the answers to these questions, because I need to know, this is just too broad. So I don't know what you're doing in order to know what you need to be doing differently. So I hope that helps. Okay, I have back pain extending down my left leg. The pain is more aggravated sitting on a sofa or recliner chair after sleeping. So again, there isn't enough information here. I mean, I don't have anything of your injury history. I don't know what you've been doing in the program. I don't know if anything you've been doing has made a dent in your pain or aggravated it. This is just too broad. And I mentioned this kind of last couple weeks. I've been on the coaching calls last couple of times. Folks, the more that detail you can give me in these questions, the more I can help you with these. But my answers are broad because I'm getting broad information that's not really pointing me in any direction. So if it helps you, think of this. The reason I'm asking more specific, go back over these coaching calls. And when you listen to my answers, you'll always hear me ask for more specific information. Is it do you have pain bending down, or is it pain when you're coming up from bending down? And is your pain Do you have more pain when your right leg is forward when you're bending down, or when your left leg is forward bending down? Oh, you haven't tried that. So try alternating your legs and see what happens when you're bending down. Things like that, you need to feel comfortable experimenting with things to get more data, because that data, whether it's relieving pain or making pain go away, is pointing you in the right direction of where you need to be going. So start thinking objectively. And again, this is what that overall pain checklist is doing, is helping you answer these kinds of questions to get more specific and understand more objectively what's going on with your program and how you're responding to it. So a lot of these questions could be answered if you have been filling out the overall pain checklist. Those answers would probably be right there in that overall pain checklist already. So please fill that out. It will really help you think critically about and objectively about your pain. I'm not just I really want to answer your questions, but I just don't have enough information. Okay, the next one. The muscles around my right knee tighten up and grip my knee when I stand or walk. What can I do to help them relax? So first of all, I think I answered this person earlier this week, and maybe I didn't get to the right knee issue enough. So when I hear something like that, I'm thinking, okay, could that be my physical therapist mind thinks structural, all right? So is there a meniscus tear? Is there severe arthritis in the knee? Things like that. When you stand or walk, so it's not happening when you're sitting. Are you sitting with your knee bent, or are you sitting with your knee up on a stool? Is the knee resting in hyperextension, or is the knee not resting in hyperextension? So, and have you changed how that knee is resting before you get up and stand and walk? Does that change how it feels when you get up and stand and walk? So, the structural issues could be, of course, arthritis, a meniscal tear. There could be a ligament tear in there, something like that. From a system standpoint, it could be tight calf muscles. It could be tight hamstring. It could be tight quad. It could be tight adductors. It could be weak butt muscles. It could be weak hip muscles. So those are the possibilities that we have to kind of work through. And that's what my program is trying to guide you through that. So I bring up this idea almost every time too, is this idea of testing and retesting. So, okay, so you're saying you get up and stand and walk and you feel that tightness in your right knee. So what if we did one exercise from the pain reduction set and then retested that right knee tightness when you stand and walk? Does that change that? And then go through each of the exercises to see if any one of those exercises is specifically addressing the system's issue that's causing the right knee stiffness. So that would be a general way of starting to approach this. Again, have you worked through all the somatics lessons, the bonus somatics audio lessons at the bottom of the members area? Especially if your PDI score is 21 or greater, that's what you should be beginning with, because there may be many other systems feeding into the knee, and the knee is just the weak link in your system. And the problems are elsewhere other than the knee. So I hope that helps. What can I do to help them relax? Well, try these things. We need to understand why they're getting tight in the first place. Have you been to your doctor? Have you had X-rays, MRIs of the knee? Is there anything showing up on there? And if there is, what systemic things are feeding into that? So that would be my answers, to do a retest for every exercise, and even the somatics lesson. I think lesson number 5 deals with the hips and knees. Do the somatics lesson, get up, is your knee stiff from that? Oh, okay, it's not? Okay, well, that's largely targeting the hip muscles. So maybe the problem is actually in the hip and it's feeding into the knee. There's just so many possibilities here. So those are all the questions, folks. I'm trying to, I'm trying to get you to think critically and objectively about your pain, because no one has done this for you. And I'm showing you a completely new way of thinking about this. Because, you are trained, and I was trained, to believe that, all the pain is only a problem where you're having pain. And that you may have a problem there, but it's everything else that's feeding into that area that is the actual problem. So I'm trying to think more broadly and critically and objectively about this. I know it's a new way of thinking and it's difficult, but again, if you work through that overall pain checklist, it will help you think objectively about this. And I'm always here to answer your questions. So, send me questions either through the Facebook group. I would prefer in the Facebook group. I'm getting a lot of questions to my email, and that's fine. I'm fine answering that, but those questions could help other people too. So that's what I have that Facebook group, is so that we can all help each other, not only with answers, but with our questions. And so your questions may help other people solve their questions. And chances are, if you're having the questions, then everyone else is having the same questions. So, or a lot of other people. So let's help each other. Go to the Facebook group, please, and start asking your questions in there, so I can give answers in there and help hundreds of people instead of just one person. Okay? All right. Thank you again. And I hope this has been helpful.